Hey everybody, welcome back to Cedar's Adventure. Before I get into talking about what I'm doing today in the park, I just want to say a big hello and thank you to all my new subscribers. Since the last few videos I've posted, I've noticed I've had a few more subscribers compared to normal, so thank you to everyone. And also thanks for everyone that's been watching me build these parks and make these videos since the very beginning. So if you have joined me since episode 1 of Cedar's Adventure, you would have seen me do this really long journey of building this park. And I just took a step back from it and just had a look through the park and tried to think about what maybe was missing. And I realised that I had no games in the park. So I've decided to go through the park today and add a few games in here and there. So I'm starting off here with building a traditional kind of hammer game. So I'm just using pieces from the game to put them together to maybe try and create the look of something. So I've made a little hammer and the tower there with some diagonal pieces to look like where the metal thing rises up and down. So now I'm going to go on and build one of these balanced ladder games. I'm using the Wild Mouse coaster track to look like the ladder. And I'm just basically using wall pieces in different shapes and putting them together with kind of nice friendly colours to make the games look interesting. So I'm not happy with the placement of this game, so I will make a blueprint of it and actually move it somewhere else into the park. But I also make a blueprint of some of the other ones like the hammer game, and just kind of copy them and place them down somewhere else throughout the park as well, just so that some of the areas of the park have at least something to do, like if you don't want to ride the rides, maybe you can play the games. So I feel like the ladder game is actually kind of better over here by the Arrow Coaster, which is one of the first rides I built in this park. And now I'm going to do a game which I actually saw at Wallaby Holland. And this is where you have to hang on the pole for as long as you can, and there's like a timer on the wall to see how long you can stay there for. So this one's actually probably the most simplest game that I make. It's just a few poles, and I made that little thing on the wall there with the red dot, which is meant to be like the counter, the clock for how long you're on the wall for. And then I realised that in the prop section there's some vases, so I thought maybe they'd be quite cool for smashing or something. Like maybe like a coconut shy type of game. So I'm actually just gonna place those there and then make I'm gonna use the, what's it called? The flag toppers. They're actually like little balls. So I'm actually gonna put them on the side there to make them look like that you could pick them up and throw them at the vases to smash. So I thought that was cool. I'm just gonna add a few little coloured decorative things there in the background to make it look a bit more interesting. So that's 3 games there along the side of the water. I've just copied over the hammer game and I've placed it down in the main plaza of the park. I'm going to change the colour scheme from the reds to the blues. Now I'm going to add another game also over by the Arrow Coaster. Now this is I wanted it to be like one of those basketball games where you have to throw the ball into the basket. So I'm just using like a piece from the pipes and vents set there as the hoop. And then I actually struggled to find a ball to look like a basketball. And I think maybe if I made this in the current version of the game, I could have used the sphere shape, but that wasn't available at this time. So I've actually used one of the shrubs and basically just used the orange option on it, and that actually kind of does the job really for a ball. So I have added a roof there over the game because I thought maybe if you were to throw a ball too high and it went over the top, it landed where the coaster was, it could be dangerous. So I've just basically put a roof on there to stop that from happening. Now I've decided I want to do a rock climbing wall. So I put down some rocks and I'm going to build a wall around the rocks to make it look like it's been actually like a man-made attraction and not just an actual real rock. Adding the thick tile there to look like a mat. And then I'm just going to put these flag toppers in amongst the rocks in different colours to look like the things that you would grab to use to climb. I'm using this really thin flagpole to look like the cable that you would connect yourself onto to climb, and then the support on top there to support the people that are climbing. Again, another really simple one that looks effective. I actually had problems trying to find spaces to put the stuff in the park, so I've really had to squeeze them into these tight corners and spaces or along the waterfronts. So now I'm just tidying up some of the other areas of the park. I'm going to put that little fence in there where the staff can go behind the scenes. I'm going to add these fence rails around these planter areas, just to really finish up these areas and make sure all those details I wanted are in there. So here I'm going to experiment with some colours. I actually changed the colours of the paths maybe 4 or 5 times. I'm not going to show you me doing that because it's really tedious, but basically I just wasn't really happy with the contrast of the path covers and the actual real paths that I've put down, so I just kind of play around with some of the colours, make some lighter and some darker just to see what looks best. But yeah, I can't believe that this park is nearly finished. It's taken me a very long time to build, and if you've joined me for every episode, you've pretty much seen everything I did. There is only a few little things that I've done off camera, mainly because I forgot to press record. But I just can't really believe that it's come to an end very soon. There is just maybe a couple little things left to show you. But it's been real fun, I've really enjoyed it. I'm actually going to go back through the park with the current version of the game, which is the beta 1, and going to add in some more of the new shrubbery in there because the new shrubbery is really cool, and I think it will just add a bit more dynamic to the trees and the bushes that I have in the park already. So I'm just going to add this white path border around all those paths. This just really neatens up the look of the paths, and I just think it looks way better. So as I've said before, I will be uploading this park onto the Steam Workshop for you to download when it's finished. So I will put a link to that down below eventually, so keep an eye out in my future videos for that. There is quite a lot of mods that you need for this park to actually work, or it will still work without the mods, but all the stuff I've put in will be missing. So I will write a list as well of all the mods that I have included into this park and where you can find them. So here I'm just going to build another one of these railroad crossings, just using these stripy pieces here to make it look like the barriers that would come down. I've made quite a few of these in this park, so this is the final one. And I'm just going to quickly finish up this bridge. As I said, this video is a bit of a mismatch of a lot of things. And so yeah, I'm doing railway crossings, bridges, games, all sorts, all the little things to finish off the park. But this is a real simple bridge. And then onto the final games in the park. This big space over by the first wooden coaster that I built, I wasn't really happy with that big open space, and I thought it needed some sort of sit-down game style stools. So I'm building one large one and then one small one to kind of fill up that area. And again, I'm just going to be using the pieces within the game, putting them together and see what works best. As you saw then, I just tried to put down some water. I actually wanted to do like one of those duck games where you have to hook the duck. But that wouldn't really work out. So I've just gone for one of these throw the balls into the vase games. So I'm actually just wondering if you play games at theme parks. If you do, let me know down below in the comments. I actually have never played a game at a theme park. I'm just interested in riding the rides. I go to a theme park mainly to ride on the roller coasters. As you may know, I'm a roller coaster enthusiast, so I really love going to roller coasters, theme parks and riding every roller coaster and collecting those credits. Credits are basically just when you've ridden a new roller coaster that you've never ridden before, you can kind of count it, and then we have like a credit list of all the roller coasters that you've ridden. So that's something that I enjoy doing at theme parks. So for me, playing the games is something I'm not really interested in, but sometimes it's cool to stand by and watch other people play them. I also kind of think they're like a money robbing system where you hardly win and you end up just spending lots of money. And if you do win, you end up with a giant toy that you can barely fit or you could barely fit in your car, or it's too big to take on the plane home or something. So yeah, it's not something I ever do. I'm just trying to make the front of these games look really kind of arcade styled looking, really kind of a bit vintagey but really cool and interesting using the colours and everything. So now I'm going to go on to the small diagonal one, and I'm basically just going to try and copy the exact style of the other larger one into this diagonal one. So that is basically it for today's episode. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed the video, and if you've not subscribed already, press the subscribe button, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a question down below in the comment section. And as always, I have put some screenshots at the end of this video of what I have built today so you can see them without the time lapse. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Could be a new shirt at the men's store, a cat nap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. Like this. A present. Like Christmas. Oh, man, that is the spot. Nothing like a great cup of black coffee.